Hey guys, this is Mark Rodriguez here.
And this is Johnny Rodriguez.
Yes, and this is like a short little part episode of the Heroes in the Halfcast. We have the more complete episode in a few minutes with Benka. We're gonna go into full detail. But before we start into that, I want to get the opinion of Johnny Rodriguez here of a major event. Now, Johnny here kind of represents the more or less average Ninja Turtle fan, watched old 80s cartoons, who played the video games, the old 90s movies with Vanilla Ice and that kind of stuff, but someone that doesn't read these comic books. So we're going to get your life opinion, Mr. Johnny, on this big event that in the latest comic book of Turtles number 44, one of the turtles was killed.
What?
Yes, one of the turtles. Now, you know how comic books are. They might still do some bullshit or something that, whatever. But for the time being, it's like one of the turtles was killed.
But what the hell? Which turtle died?
Well, apparently, I'm going to show you pictures in a few seconds.
I got it now.
What do you think of that?
Okay, so Donatello looks like he's already severely beaten up, from before, in the big fight.
Yeah.
Okay, Freak Slit. And then Bebop hits them, wham, with a keyboard.
Yeah, but I mean, he hits him so hard that the keyboard's even busted from the impact.
Yeah, so it looked like something that would knock him down at least, right?
Yes, but then,
or maybe a severe injury, but not
Yes, but then the thing you have to remember. One thing I have to mention is that in this version of the story, Rocksteady has a big sledgehammer as his trademark weapon.
Oh.
So, and the next thing I'm going to show you is that Bebop actually holds Donatello down while Rocksteady swings up the sledgehammer, ready to swing it down. And just look at this next picture here.
Okay, so I just got the picture. I just see something hit something. Bro, you split them in half, man. Gross. Yeah, did you expect it to look like that under there?
Okay, what do you think of that then?
Oh, God.
So basically, Rocksteady, Rocksteady busted up Donatello's shell wide open with a sledgehammer. And of course, people are having doubts and everything. You know how comic books are. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he still survived, or I don't know how he survived that, but, but that's the... Yeah, that's the part I wanted you to see. But that's the epic part, though. That's the shocker. I'm showing you the last image because during this was happening, of course, the Turtles were still fighting against Krang and, trying to stop the Technodrome and all that stuff. So they have no idea this is going on. And now the last picture I'm sending you is basically when the Turtles finally get home and they see the bad news.
Okay, and in a few seconds, all this loads. However long it wants to load.
Yes, but what do you think of that so far, though?
It's really, really graphic. Something. I mean, wow, you never expect one of the turtles to die by Bebop and Rocksteady, no less. You would expect it from the Shredder, from Karai, or any other new villain they might, bring out in the comic book, but not Bebop and Rocksteady.
And to make them so super incredibly strong, too, in this version. Yeah, so that's the big thing. Everyone is super shocked, and that's the big news. And the thing is, the comic book is coming out at the end of this month as to, what happens next. Are they going to cure Donatello somehow, or what's going to happen? How they're going to get revenge against Rocksteady and all that. That's the big mystery. That's why we're going to try our very best, guys, to rush this episode out so it's already online, but before you get the comic book, But yes, there was a lot of articles and lots of things going on telling people about, is one of the turtles dead? Oh my god, the turtle died in IDW comic books. Could this really be? There was a lot of big, gossip and a lot of stuff about this.
Oh my god. So here we have the graphic picture. First of all, who's the woman on top? The one that has a shield type costume on.
Oh, well, she's Angel, and I don't know if you remember, because Angel didn't really appear in so many episodes of the 2003 cartoon Little Gangster Girl, so now in this version, she's also a gangster girl, but she's a bit more older, and now she has a superhero outfit, and now she's called Nobody.
And then who's the other thing that looks like a fox?
Yeah, that's some Alopex, and she used to be an evil fox with the Shredder and all that stuff, but later, she well, like realize it's evil and there's no honor and all that junk. So now she's kind of sort of with the turtles helping out and everything.
Wow, this is really graphic. I mean, oh, wow. Donatello's dead, all beaten up, and he looks, pretty defenseless, to be honest. Like, you know how the turtles are always, very powerful. They're always fighting. They're, athletic and all that. And then, like, here you just see him, like, defenseless, like, all beaten up, dead, basically, all blood and everywhere. And then, like, Splinter's crying, my poor brave son. And then Leonardo and Michelangelo, and oh my god, especially Michelangelo, he's really weeping. He's really crying a lot there. And then Raphael, he looks like sad, but he's, he's filled with a lot of rage, like like the person's gonna pay for it kind of thing, right? But yeah, this is wow, this is very graphic. I never expect to see this ever happening in the Turtle universe. Yep.
So yeah, that's the big thing. That was Johnny's reaction, because like I said, this is something that lots of Turtle fans are shocked too, and I think this is one of those those little things too to, I guess, help bring attention to the comic book, because most people didn't know about it, most people didn't care about it. People don't read comic books so much anymore, but now thanks to the whole like oh my god, one of the turtles died, man, so everyone's like buying it, and this issue is actually very sold out. It is very hard to find a copy. I was very lucky because in the comic book store, I got my comic book box, so they put it in there. They saved it there. It was reserved. But for other people, it's very hard to find. And, of course, people are very abusing, putting it on eBay for high prices and stuff. Because it's like this is the big issue where the turtle dies,
Oh, wow. It's like, damn.
So this is like the Turtles version of the famous Joker killing Robin. And that was fun, wasn't it? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow. It's even hard to look at the picture sometimes.
Exactly, and not only that, but the comic book, I mean, they did have a little violence here and there. We do have that Shredder was still stabbing Casey Jones, but he still kind of survived. But this one here, this is like the most biggest example, like most violent thing ever.
But again, what makes it so amazing to the shock that Donatello died is that it's not that the Shredder killed him, it's not that Karai killed him. You would expect those two to slice their heads off, basically. But it's that Bebop and Rocksteady did this, and it's not like, it doesn't look like they themselves planned the death. I mean, they probably just wanted to beat him up the most, give him a good beat down. But I think that not even Bebop and Rocksteady realized how much of a beating Donatello took, to the point that they accidentally killed him. Of course, they're so bad guys, so in the end, they're not going to care too much. But even then, they still act shocked, like whoa, like, we just did that?
Yeah, but like I said,
of course, they're going to make Shredder proud, but that's not the point. The point is that the most they were planning was just to do a beatdown, enough to knock him down, and I suppose like to bring him to the Shredder, to Karai, in this case Karai, but not to actually kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Or you could be like the usual, that they're going to kill him, but the turtle somehow gets away, or the other characters arrive in time or something, and no one arrived in time.
Question is that how did this plan happen? So how did this deadly outcome succeeded without no type of interference? You know how turtles always have like the intercom, or they always like how superhero movies they always just show up before something like this happens. How did this happen with now nothing in the way interrupting that tragic incident? How did that happen?
Well, the thing is that in this particular moment, the turtles were still in Dimension X, the other turtles, and they were too busy fighting against Krang and stopping the Technodrome and all that stuff.
Oh.
And then as for Splinter was, I think, helping other characters, attack the Foot and stuff. And then, basically there's another group of heroes that has, Slash in them and Mondo Gecko and all those people. But they basically left Splinter alone. And then, and of course, Angel and Alopex arrive to help Splinter. But the thing is, I mean, all this stuff is happening in the other side of town or something. So they're way too far from where Donatello was to really arrive in time. And so in this particular case, he really was like all alone. Well, Metalhead was there.
How did this happen? Was Donatello like on a mission, and then like this happened, or was he just like having a regular day? Like I would.
No, like I said before, Donatello was pretending to be with the Foot, basically to help Shredder and them to attack Krang, because they were kind of hoping that, you know, the enemies can just kill each other off. Hopefully Shredder and Krang can just kill each other off, you know, and stuff like that. So he sent the other turtles to Dimension X to go fight and stuff, and he also sent Shredder and all of them to Dimension X also. But like I said before, Shredder still doesn't trust the turtles because it could be a traitors. So he left the Upper Rocksteady to stay behind, and he said, you know, like if there's any tricks or none, kill that turtle, you know. So Krang actually does beat the damn crap out of Shredder. Right now, Shredder also is kind of like half dead. Of beaten. So when he was, you know, beaten and stuff, he still said, you know, yeah, turtles, this is a trick, this is a trap, you know, kill that turtle.
Wow.
And that's what happened. And unfortunately, unlike the 80s cartoons where Rear they were dumb and you know, Donatello could just throw peeks at their face or something like that. In this case, yeah, they're just too tough to beat up on your own. And Metalhead was there too, but even Metalhead can't really do much. He was basically beating up like a crappy little toy. As you can see in the last picture, there's arms missing.
Wow,
so just the big question is, what happens next? Everyone's super like anxious, waiting for the big issue 45. Yeah, so we're gonna have to see what happens. But yeah, that's basically the thoughts right now. Like I said, a little after this, me and Benka are gonna go even more deeper into detail and how the people act and the shockness, and we're gonna describe the full storyline of this little story here, which is called Attack on Technodrome. It's kind of a joke, kind of like Attack on Titan from the anime series. It's called Attack on Technodrome storyline, and this basically ends the storyline here. The next storyline is going to be about revenge and stuff, so you could tell it's going to be about revenge for Donatello, but we're going to have to see what happens. So that wraps up this little thing here. Like I said, this is like a little pre-show thing, and we got to see Johnny's live reaction. As you can tell, like most Turtle fans that just found the rumors and they read the comic book themselves, it is a bit shocking.
And very graphic.
Because the basic thing is that, I mean, the Turtles, it's just more Turtles. It's not like the Avengers, that they got like so many members of the Avengers that, oh, you know, if, I don't know, like some of the minor people, like, oh, Hawkeye got killed, oh no, or Quicksilver got killed, oh no. It's like minor people. You still got like about 50, 60 more Avengers members, you know. But Turtles is just 4. You know, having just 3 Turtles from now on, if they do that, because you know comic books always have bullshit. They'll do something. But if the comic book really did go forward and it's just 3 Turtles and stuff, it's really going to be like a big graphic change.
Yes, it will be.
That's
now, of course, a part of the fans wouldn't mind if they did this whole comic book plot hole that, oh, he never died. It just looked that way kind of situation. Well, yeah, that's cool. But on the other side, it's kind of bad, too, if they do go that route, because it's kind of like, you know, deceiving the readers into thinking, oh, my God, that's Tuttle's dead, and then, oh, he's back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. But anyways,
waste of money.
Exactly. I mean, I feel bad for people if they really, because I just bought like the normal comic book price. Like I said, it was just in my comic book box, so it's like the normal comic book price. But I feel bad for people if they actually do spend $100 or whatever on eBay, and the next issue, oh, Donatello's recovering. Well, anyways, guys, it wraps up this little mini part of the episode of Heroes in the Podcast, Heroes in the Halfcast. And like I said, I'm going to continue on with Benka, but for now, we're going to say goodbye. For now, any final thoughts there, Johnny?
I guess just keep reading the comic books to find out what the outcome of all of this is. Donatello really died, or it's just like a little comic book loophole just to get more readers. But, you know, either regardless.
Okay, we'll see you guys in a bit. We're taking a little break. Like I said, I'll be back with Benka, and see you all later, guys.
All right.